what Armoury entails and what is it all about. Just give us a breakdown. What kind of guns actors usually use on a set?
90% of the time, it's a lump of rubber. You know this.
So for
99% of the time,
those who are watching films and baddies running around with the big guns and shooting, it's just a CGI effect.
It's becoming more CGI effect. Up until about 5-10 years ago, no, you were using real guns modified to fire blanks.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd spend a lot of time, modifying them to fire such. But it's got to the point where people have become more savvy. They play computer games more often and they kind of understand the way guns work.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a gun with a silencer on it. It's not really a silencer, it's a moderator, but whatever. And you get flash coming out the front of it. It's because there's no projectile flying out.
Mm-hmm.
But you're firing a blank, so you end up with a big flame coming out the front of a gun that shouldn't have a flame. We now have ways of getting around that. There's special ammunition types we can use. There's a lot of modification that can be involved, but 99% of the time, it's either a hard cast or a soft cast rubber gun. Because, to be fair, guns are heavy. Actors don't like running around.
Exactly. Also, you fall over with that gun, you can hurt yourself and destroy the gun and all that stuff. When we did a job on a film called Overlord, I remember one of the stunt guys had to react on the gunshots. As he fell down, he literally smashed this old school, very nice gun, which is all made of metal and everything. And the armor came over and was like, "What did you do? This is expensive, And the guy's like, "How do you want me to fall? It's not like I can just, fall softly on it or whatever. It's gonna be, destroyed or ruined. So in this case, I need something rubber, which you should be thinking about." But I think one of the things what people get confused, they see running from the distance with a gun, but then when there's a close-up, then they see a real gun. And that's the thing. On a close-up, you usually change it to not real gun, but...
Yeah, if you're getting to a quarter size, then, if it's a single or a quarter, then, then you start using something more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's the reason we set up Alamo, was purely to become an ethical armory. One of the things that most people... don't realise, a lot of actors are actually quite ethical people. They're actually really good people. Yeah.
It's like, duh.
But they understand. If you do a Second World War film, the guns that would be being used at that point in time would have been fresh out the box.
Mm-hmm.
But to do it with blank firers these days, that gun's 100 years old, 80 years old. It's old, it's battered, it's pock-marked. It doesn't look how it would have looked or should look for filming. Mm-hmm. So the whole point of our armoury is, first of all, we make sure that the guns are as clean as they should be for the time period they're being set in. And the second thing we want to do is that most of these guns have history. They're real guns. Some of these guns, they stopped making them at the end of the Second World War. These guns that are being used on set are guns that have potentially killed people. They're seized weapons. They're weapons that have been got from somewhere or another. They have a history. All guns.
They actually would have those kind of guns.
Well, yeah.
The ones which have been used in...
Where do you think you get, a blunderbuss or an old flintlock?
Because I think I would assume that there's a special place where they make them from scratch.
Yeah, you'd think that. It's not kind of the case for quite a lot of these guns. And that's why we moved away from using real guns wherever possible. Just... For two reasons. First of all, stunt guys need to be safe. And as much as I take the piss out of you, we do kind of like stunt guys. I can name you some good ones if you want, but then there's you as well.
I go very bottom of the list.
You're not bottom of the list, but...
One before.
Yeah. If I scrape the bottom, I may find you. But no, you gotta think that stunt guys are riding a motorbike, firing a machine gun. These flashes can be fixed in post. So why should I put a gun in your hand that's going to... you fall
just
off.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Accidents happen, and we've tried to negate that completely by removing the level of danger that's required. But it's, it's going really well for us right now. At the moment, it's ridiculous. The more people get the hang of what we do, because 90% of the time it's not the flash that comes out the front of the gun that's as dangerous. It's the bit of brass shooting out the side, the blank round that's going sideways.
The empty shells.
The empty shells. You've got the camera crew there.
Is that a very British name for it? Brass.
It's made of brass.
Made of brass. Is that the metal?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what. Yeah. Anyway, so you've got this flying out the side at high speed.
Yeah.
You've got a flash coming out the front, and we've got you guys trying to fight each other while holding them. Yeah, it's just our aim at the moment is to try and get rid of all of that.
What would you suggest to people who would like to be an armourer? Who would like to get into this? Obviously, we mentioned the film industry is the worst. You don't want to get in there.
Don't do it.
The family life is going to be tough, but...
For two reasons. A, it will screw your life up unless you're single and you really don't care about people. And B, you then become competition to me. So these are two reasons why not to
don't get into it. They could get into it 5 years later from now.
You could just send me a CV. Send me a CV.
There you go.
Jesus, at the minute, we're running out of staff.
You can find Stephen Leek on IMDb. He always says, like, oh, check my IMDb. I'm the highest rate.
Never say that. Go screw yourself. I don't think I'll ever say that. It's not even on the webpage.
Is it not?
No, my IMDb's not on the webpage. I don't care about that crap. Unless it's really, really high, and then like everybody, you go, oh look, I'm at 23,000. Oh, I'm 23,000 most influential person currently today at this point in time in the film industry because 6 people looked at my webpage. No, IMDb is great. I have to say that because I pay them money every month to make sure my page is up to date. But it's a really useful tool for me for finding out when I get the new unit list through, which is the bit of paper they always send us, well, the email that we get through that tells us everybody who's working on the project. So I can click on it and go, how many of these have I worked with before? And then it brings up and you kind of go, oh, good, it's such and such. Oh, yeah, no, that's good. It'll be an all right job. If it comes up and I don't know a single person, then it may be harder.
But for you, it's like, it's not just an armory and understanding about the guns and all that. You're so...
Still 1-0, by the way.
So knowledgeable. Yes, we're watching football at the same time as well. You're so knowledgeable, like electricianist.
I am an electrician.
Yeah, and then you were building some stages and building some moving doors and all the electrical stuff.
I work with some special effects teams.
That really comes handy as well.
I've been very fortunate. I've been able to work with people like Mike Dawson and... Fizzbang Wallop and Alex Gunn, Arcadia Effects. These people are legends, and there's a guy. His name's Harry Bryce. His father pretty much built Hoth, I believe. I seem to remember. He's worked on all sorts. His first job was on Alien when he was 13.
Everyone knows Alien.
Working with his dad.
What was Hoth?
Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And his entire family was pretty much in the film industry. And then one day, he did a film. He worked on Hot Fuzz. He was part of Artem with Hot Fuzz. And he just went, I don't like this industry. And he just got out.
The reason we were just talking about Hot Fuzz was because Steven said this thing. He said, nobody says me nothing.
Nobody tells me
tells me nothing. If anyone has seen Hot Fuzz, there's this one police officer who says that all the time. Nobody tells me nothing.
Bill Bailey does it.
Bill Bailey, he's awesome.
Yeah, and he just got out. And he looks after his kids. He was there for his kids to go to school, and he made a really good career for himself. And then he just said, "Nope, enough's enough. I want to put time in with my family." And he's always been my go-to if I'm working for a special effects team, because having your own company, my own the Armoury firm, it affords me the ability to go, right, there's my crew. You're taking care of that. And my business partner, he still loves the industry. He's not bitter like me. So he loves being there and being on set and doing the meetings. So I can then take a step back and go and do things that I want to do. So I had the opportunity to go and work on a TV series for a very big TV series and working in the special effects team. It's like, okay, I'll go do it. I got asked to go down, as with most of this, I started out as an electrician. I went down to go and help them do some wiring. I knew some of the crew, I knew the supervisor, and he was like, do you want to just stay for a couple of weeks? Originally, I went in for 2 days. He asked me to stay for 3 weeks. I was there for 7.5 months. And it's really useful. They kind of go, I need this to do a thing.
Yeah.
So they'll put it on my desk at the workshop. And I'll be like, I need this to shoot water out the front and make steam, and I need it to do it on command, and I need to do it repeatedly. Okay. Now I get 2 days. I'm paid to invent something, come up with some way of making that happen. And the special effects teams have to be so creative. I mean, Haley and all of the special effects companies out there, that they really work hard to make the most mundane thing happen. And
but these things you can do because you're so well-rounded. I mean,
thank you very much.
Well, yeah,
you're calling me fat again, aren't you?
No,
I've put on some weight. It's lockdown weight. Shut up.
I didn't say rounded. I say well-rounded.
It's 1-1, people. It's gone to 1-1.
You're like, what is it?
1-1. Italy must have scored.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know. Not that it's football.
Yeah, but looks like London is going to go down tonight.
I have the ability to do a lot of things.
You've done cars.